I don't think people understand the gravity of the current economic situation. The global economy stands at a critical juncture, facing unprecedented challenges and opportunities. The US and EU, twin engines of global growth, are grappling with a unique set of challenges that could reshape the economic landscape for years to come. Inflation, a specter long thought tamed, has reared its head once again, causing concern among consumers and policymakers alike. Supply chain disruptions, a hangover from the pandemic, continue to roil markets, leading to shortages and delays that affect businesses and consumers worldwide. The specter of recession looms large, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the future and making economic planning more difficult. In the US, the Federal Reserve's aggressive interest rate hikes are a double-edged sword, aiming to curb inflation but risking economic slowdown. While designed to curb inflation, these rate hikes risk tipping the economy into recession, affecting businesses and employment. The EU, grappling with an energy crisis exacerbated by the war in Ukraine, faces its own set of dilemmas, including energy security and economic stability. The Eurozone's economic powerhouse, Germany, is particularly vulnerable to these disruptions, given its reliance on energy imports and industrial exports. Despite these challenges, both the US and EU possess fundamental economic strengths that could help them navigate these turbulent times. The US boasts a dynamic entrepreneurial culture and a robust labor market, which are key drivers of innovation and economic resilience. The EU benefits from a highly skilled workforce and a strong social safety net, providing a foundation for long-term stability and growth. The path forward for both economies remains uncertain, with many variables at play that could influence their trajectories. Much depends on the trajectory of inflation, the outcome of the war in Ukraine, and the effectiveness of policy responses from both sides of the Atlantic. However, one thing is clear: the decisions made in Washington and Brussels will have profound implications for the global economy, shaping the future for generations to come. The global economic landscape is further complicated by a series of geopolitical tremors. These tremors are not isolated incidents but interconnected events that ripple across borders, affecting economies in ways that are both direct and indirect. The war in Ukraine, a humanitarian tragedy, has sent shockwaves through the global economy. Beyond the immediate human cost, the conflict has disrupted trade routes, leading to shortages of essential goods and commodities, and has created a ripple effect that is felt in markets far from the front lines. Energy prices have soared, supply chains have been disrupted, and geopolitical uncertainty has shaken investor confidence. The volatility in energy markets has led to increased costs for businesses and consumers alike, further straining economies already grappling with post-pandemic recovery. The Middle East, a region of critical geopolitical importance, is grappling with its own set of challenges. The region's vast oil reserves make it a focal point for global energy markets, and any instability here can have far-reaching consequences. Political instability, social unrest, and economic inequality continue to plague the region. These issues are not new, but their persistence exacerbates the difficulties in achieving long-term economic stability and growth. The ongoing conflict in Yemen, the Syrian civil war, and the rise of sectarian tensions in Iraq all threaten to spill over, with potentially devastating consequences for the global economy. These conflicts disrupt local economies, displace populations, and create environments where extremist groups can thrive, further destabilizing the region. China, the world's second-largest economy, is also facing headwinds. Its economic policies and global trade relationships are under scrutiny as the country navigates a complex international landscape. Its zero-COVID policy, while effective in containing the virus, has come at a cost to economic growth. The lockdowns have led to decreased consumer spending, disrupted manufacturing, and slowed down overall economic activity. The country's property market, a key driver of its economy, is showing signs of stress. The real estate sector, which has been a significant contributor to China's rapid economic growth, is now facing challenges that could have broader implications for the global economy. These geopolitical tensions add another layer of complexity to the global economic outlook. Investors and policymakers must navigate an increasingly uncertain environment where political events can have immediate and profound economic impacts. They underscore the interconnectedness of the global economy and highlight the potential for political events to have far-reaching economic consequences. In this interconnected world, no economy is an island. and the ripple effects of geopolitical events can be felt across continents, influencing everything from stock markets to everyday consumer prices. Amidst this complex economic and geopolitical backdrop, the rise of cryptocurrencies has added another layer of intrigue. As traditional financial systems grapple with challenges, digital currencies are stepping into the spotlight, offering both promise and peril. Cryptocurrencies, decentralized digital currencies based on blockchain technology, have emerged as a disruptive force in the global financial system. These digital assets operate independently of central banks, relying on cryptographic techniques to secure transactions and control the creation of new units. Proponents of cryptocurrencies tout their potential to revolutionize finance. They point to their decentralized nature, their security features, and the transparency offered by blockchain technology. These advocates believe that cryptocurrencies can democratize finance, making it more accessible to people around the world, and their potential to increase financial inclusion. In regions where traditional banking infrastructure is lacking, cryptocurrencies can provide a lifeline, enabling people to participate in the global economy. Cryptocurrencies, they argue, could empower individuals and businesses by providing an alternative to traditional financial institutions. This empowerment comes from the ability to conduct transactions without intermediaries, reducing costs and increasing efficiency. However, cryptocurrencies also pose significant risks. Their value is highly volatile, making them a risky investment. Prices can swing dramatically in short periods, leading to substantial gains or devastating losses for investors. Their decentralized nature, while a strength in some respects, also makes them vulnerable to illicit activities. Cryptocurrencies have been associated with money laundering, fraud, and other illegal activities due to the anonymity they can provide. Regulatory uncertainty continues to cloud the future of cryptocurrencies. Governments around the world are grappling with how to regulate these digital assets, balancing the need to protect consumers and prevent illegal activities with the desire to foster innovation. The future of cryptocurrencies remains uncertain. Will they revolutionize finance or fade into obscurity? Only time will tell. The ongoing debate among economists, technologists, and policymakers highlights the complexity and potential of this emerging field. However, one thing is clear. Cryptocurrencies are a powerful reminder of the rapid pace of technological change and its potential to disrupt traditional industries. As we navigate this new frontier, the interplay between innovation and uncertainty will continue to shape the financial landscape. Section 4. Central banks at the helm, navigating turbulent waters. In these uncertain times, the role of central banks has become even more critical. Central banks like the US Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank are tasked with maintaining price stability and promoting economic growth. They do this primarily by setting interest rates, which influence borrowing and spending throughout the economy. The Federal Reserve's decisions, in particular, have an outsized impact on global financial markets. Its monetary policy pronouncements are closely watched by investors around the world. A rate hike by the Fed can send shockwaves through stock markets as investors reassess the outlook for economic growth. The challenge for central bankers is to strike a delicate balance. They must rein in inflation without triggering a recession. They must navigate a complex economic landscape fraught with uncertainty and risk. Their decisions will have profound implications for businesses, consumers, and investors alike. Section 5. Pandemic aftershocks and geopolitical headwinds. The COVID-19 pandemic and ongoing geopolitical tensions have added further complexity to the Fed's task. The pandemic led to unprecedented government spending and monetary easing, which contributed to inflationary pressures. The war in Ukraine has exacerbated these pressures, disrupting supply chains and driving up energy prices. These factors have forced the Fed to adopt a more hawkish stance, raising interest rates at a rapid clip to combat inflation. However, this aggressive approach carries risks. Higher interest rates could slow the economy too much, potentially triggering a recession. The Fed must carefully calibrate its response, taking into account the evolving economic landscape and the potential impact of its decisions on global financial markets. It's a high-stakes balancing act, with the potential to significantly impact the trajectory of the US and global economies.